So much for the racists we elected. I mean, I just knew any day now we was gonna have our rights taken away, we were gonna have our history wiped away, we were gonna be back in chains.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm black, I promise. Ain't I convincing how black I am? You white folks gotta know that. I got tattoos too. I'm black. Hold on. Huh? Oh, yeah. Put a shirt on, nigga. What's wrong with you? Where is your father? Good and decent people of YouTube, Drill Sergeant here, and it's the series. And you might be wondering to yourself why it took so long to get back. I can't do this. I gotta put a shirt on. YouTube, this isn't even mine. I don't own one of these. This is my wife's shirt. Hold on, YouTube. I'm gonna put a shirt on, then we're gonna talk about this video. Okay, if you're new here, you're wondering what the hell is going on. Thank you for watching. What's happening is the guy that you saw in the beginning is a cop. Now, I decided to make a video about this guy and then saw more TikToks. He has so many TikToks of him being a raccoon.
Monkey.
With the rest of the monkeys.
Yeah, I'll bring my grandpa with me.
Of him being an anti-black, fascist, MAGA sycophant.
Are you ready for 4 more years of Donald Trump?
Of him being a dick rider to the utmost, to the people who hate him the most.
Lions, kid, you'll be moving all right.
America is not a racist country.
Then I decided to make a series about it. Everybody meet Corporal Banks from the Rockdale County Sheriff's Office. That's in Georgia. Rockdale is in the outskirts of Atlanta, suburb, mostly white, a little bit upper middle class, where he has found himself in his home. Yeah, we found you. This rent-a-cop is a grifter. Where is your father? Your father failed you. He put on that rap costume. He's cosplaying as a African American for you. That's the disclaimer. You see, the white MAGA people that have turned him from a nobody, no-name content creator to having millions of views because they love to see a black person, especially the more dangerous and tattooed, licking his lips. Ooh, they love that because they feel justified in their white supremacy. And this guy tap dances for them and says, "Massa, you knew I was black. I appreciate you letting me in the house, though."
That we could even dream was possible, even in 2022. Regardless of what anybody says, America is not a racist nation.
That's him. That's him. When I find your name, it's going to be worse. Right now, we're going to get into this dictator dick riding mass disinformation video that this bum-ass, fool, idiot, ignorant, uncouth, no shirt wearing boy put out. Then we're going to ask the question, where is your father, son? Huh? Who told you to come out here and lick your lips like that? Who told you to come out here without a t-shirt on? What are you doing? Who are you stripping for? Are you a rapper? Is your name the Tattoo Raccoon? Because that's what you look like. So from now on, I want you to watch the Tattooed Raccoon giving his best cosplay impersonation of a black person while being a white supremacist. Here you go.
So much for the racists we elected. I mean, I just knew any day now we was going to have our rights taken away. We were going to have our history wiped away. We were going to be back in chains. That's what the liberals been screaming. And the old sellout like me went and voted for Donald Trump against the better judgment of those fear-mongering and race-baiting Democrats. And you wonder why they lost the presidency and the House. But I really thought I would get an old school racist, a Bull Connor sitting in the White House. But I was fooled. Instead, we got promises made and promises kept. Reduction in border crossings, protection of women's sports, inflation is lowering, and on the road to building a stronger economy after 4 hard years of Biden's terrible economic policies. And after all of that, all the shock and awe of not actually having the races I thought we voted for, here comes another executive order protecting historically black colleges. Not only protecting the funding of those colleges, but continuing the success and expansion of them as well. Wow. And to think that 92% of black women and 80% of black men voted for Harris because she was black. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of because she had nothing else to stand on. But to think all those black people voted against that racist Trump, thinking we were going to get chains and cages. I mean, that is what the liberals told us. Instead, we got more funding and more protection for HBCUs. And to think, with all the liberal black millionaires, it took DJT to keep these institutions running.
In the last video, I promised that I would go through each one of this guy's points, debunk them, destroy them, and then call him names and use the bombast that you just saw in the beginning there. It was a challenge by him. I passed it. I passed it. This time, I will not. You fake-ass cosplay American with a tattoo of Ace of Spades on your underarm. Where is your father, sir? Put a shirt on. What is wrong with you? Because like your father, you have failed in your responsibilities and your duties to the people who look up to you. That's all I can guess. That's all I can guess while you walk around with black tank tops on and gold chains while spouting white supremacy at the same time while you look like a fake rap wannabe, but talk like a toothless hillbilly that has no access to the internet or TV. And the only way he gets his information is at the Klan rallies he goes to on Sunday morning. That's you? Let's start here, Sambo.
I mean, I just knew any day now we was going to have our rights taken away.
You said you just knew we were going to have our rights taken away as if it was facetious. But I know you mean that. I know you mean that. You use MAGA and your anti-blackness as a way to get back at your father. You think it makes you special. You're a special Negro. And the white folks love you more because you completely deject that which your father was. It bothers you. So, you meant it. Is this what you mean by that? Our rights taken away?
Immigration and Customs Enforcement is now detaining a U.S. citizen. They hauled his butt into court. They put him in jail. And his mother showed up at court to demonstrate that he was a U.S. citizen. She had his birth certificate. A judge in Florida ruled that he was a U.S. citizen, ruled that his birth certificate was legitimate. Despite this, ICE told the judge and told Florida officials to detain him. They knew he was a U.S. citizen. They are now ignoring the law for U.S. citizens.
New this morning, concerns growing after the Trump administration removed a segregation ban for federal contractors.
Yeah, this is all part of the president's mission to eliminate anything related to diversity, equity, and inclusion. And this has some worried about the civil rights protections.
Good morning, guys. Well, the Trump administration has effectively lifted an explicit ban preventing segregated facilities.
President Trump's immigration crackdown is intensifying. The White House says it's considering suspending habeas corpus, the constitutional right allowing people to challenge their detention in court. What that could mean, and it comes one day after the mayor of Newark, New Jersey, was arrested during a protest at an ICE detention facility.
We were going to have our history wiped away.
You said you just knew we were going to have our history taken away. You mean that because you hate yourself. Like you hate your father. You hate yourself because you believe you're the seed of something less than, horrible, disgusting, unworthy. You would love to erase your history. It's said like it's facetious, but it's meant every word of it. I know that, you tattooed raccoon. And you were right.
I want to talk about 4 African American men who have one thing in common. They all have been erased pursuant to anti-DEI policies from Trump's executive orders. First, there is 4-star General Colin Powell, who made history as the first African American chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. And then 4-star General Charles Q. Brown, who was the second African American chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. And then Medgar Evers, who was assassinated while trying to register African American voters in Mississippi during the Civil Rights Movement. And the man that I want to talk about in this video is the great Jackie Robinson, the black man who integrated Major League Baseball. The great Jackie Robinson. The United States Department of Defense removed his story. Not because he did anything wrong, not because he was a bad person, not because he was a bad soldier, but merely because of his skin color. Because he just issued an executive order that severely attacks black history. It specifically targets the Smithsonian's National Museum of African American History and Culture. And it tries to erase our story from the national record altogether. Now, this is blatant, deliberate, and unapologetic anti-black racism. Let's be clear about this. This is a part of their agenda to protect white supremacy. And listen, folks, silence is complicity.
You said you just knew we were going to be back in chains. You cosplay African American. You said that I just knew I was going to be an Uncle Tom. 100% you were right. You, my friend, are who people like Tim Scott and Byron Donalds look up to. You, the tattooed raccoon with a daggone wife beater on and a gold chain that says B on it. You're a disgusting, filthy product of disgusting, filthy people. Your parents failed you because, yes, this is what you wanted.
It also directs the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, to go after officials at the state and local level who try to restrain police or who engage in local initiatives that promote diversity, equity, and inclusion. In other words, addressing police violence against black and brown people, for example, and trying to stop that would presumably be prohibited under this order. But here's the big one. Within 90 days, it directs Pam Bondi and Pete Hegseth to increase the flow of military equipment to state and local police departments and says that they must, quote, determine how military and national security assets can most effectively be utilized.
The acquittal of the 3 Memphis cops who took part in killing Tyree Nichols is devastating. It's devastating. It's a slap in the face. It's disgusting. It's repugnant. It's offensive. It's maddening. It shows a reckless disregard for black life.
And speaking of back in chains, fascist pig cop who couldn't wait for the laws to be unrestricted so you could put more black people in chains. You meant that. Speaking of that, there are other examples right here since January of people being taken away from their children and their families in chains, thrown into camps, into slavery. But because they're not black, you feel like you can say that and somehow it's not true? What don't you understand? You're not white. What don't you understand? Your proximity to whiteness is a facade, like your fake background. It's not real, like your stupid tattoos and your black tank top. You're not real. You're a fake. So is your proximity to whiteness, you tattooed raccoon. You see, when Stephen Miller came out and said, well, we're going to go ahead and get rid of habeas corpus. I know that you don't know what that means. You don't read. You just lick your lips a lot. Where's my shirt? Look at my tattoo. Look, white people, look how black and dangerous I am. And I think just like you. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm sorry to my family who had to see me do that, because they expect more from me. But this is comedy. Where was I? What I'm saying is, you're next. When they get rid of habeas corpus, when you get rid of due process, it doesn't matter if you're Mexican, Argentinian, Nicaraguan, or anywhere else. What matters is that you're brown and tattooed and look like you, idiot. You didn't know? You didn't know. You were so You were so convinced that you hated where you came from so much, your community so much, you despised and laughed and ridiculed people of intelligence who told you about your history, people who fought for you. You despised your father so much that you hate yourself to the point where you made yourself believe that your proximity to whiteness would keep you from those chains you knew you voted for. Luckily for you, I'm fighting against that. I'm fighting against that. So if you just so happen to reap the benefits of my fight, I'm not mad at that. But I would love to see you go. That's the difference. I'm not that type of liberal. You disgust me. You disgust me. You're a failure. Your family's a failure. Your parents have failed you and our community. Your parents have failed you, me, and this entire country because they raised an idiot, incurious, dumbass like yourself who parades around in African-American cosplay and gold chains while spouting white supremacy and can't wait to see your own history gone and your own people in chains and your own rights trampled on. You're the worst, and you're a cop, so that means you're dangerous. And I will fight you with everything I have. Hey, yeah, you. Before you click away to watch someone unbox a tactical toothbrush, let's talk about something real. Political Drain isn't just another content mill. We're a digital front in a very real war. Not with bullets, but with ideas, with action, and with solidarity. We pair urgent news with critical education. And we build community around actual resistance, not the hashtag kind. The kind that moves. But here's the thing. None of this is free. It isn't. Behind every video is time, labor, research, and some weird guy asking if we're going to pay the hosting bill. And yeah, some of that money goes to things we can't necessarily say out loud. If you know, you know. Let's just say our special ops aren't Call of Duty LARPers. They're people making real moves to protect, uplift, and organize. You're not just funding a channel. You're funding a resistance network in a world where capital still calls the shots. Unfortunately, in a system built on artificial scarcity, even mutual aid has a price tag. And if we want to grow, if we want to win, we need your help. We need your help. So if you've got even a few bucks to spare, toss it our way. It's not for ads. It's not for merch drops, but for people making moves in the shadows so others can do it in the light. It's just us and you. So fund the mission, fund the fight, fund the future, because nobody's coming to save us. We save each other. That's how this works.